So this is me, younger, starting robots. Yeah. I'm gonna open up the project in FL because that's where I started it. The sounds do sound a bit different. A lot of things happen to this project, okay? Camel Crusher is gone, discontinued, and the only downloads for that are sketchy freaking websites. I lost my Slice Beats folder. As long as I have the MP3s, I can sort of recreate stuff, you know? Anyways, it sounds way different. I basically resampled a lot of stuff. All gone. So, let's go through some sounds in here. It sounds like this by itself, and it's all the post-processing that makes a difference. It's picking interesting wavetables. That's modern talking. Yes. That's amazing. And then, you know, just typical stuff. High pass, the stereoification, distortion, phaser, more peaks, more stuff. And then, in the post-processing, this is always a case-by-case kind of thing. EQ, get rid of that low end as fast as possible. Lots of distortion. Vocodecs, OTT, another EQ here. I could have used the FL EQ, but I was feeling a little fancy. More distortion, more EQ. Yeah, this is the Fletcher Munson, whatever, the curve thing. Basically, at this frequency here, it hurts. Gonna move on to this guy. Now, you might notice it sounds different than in the song, because in the song, it was actually tripled. I just recorded it 3 times and then put one on the left, one on the right, one in the center. It's an easy way to make stuff more stereo and basically blend more, especially when it's not constant. Like, look, this sounds different than this. Because the voices are super random. So it's this guy right here. I was messing with FM a lot. Sub is going into B. B is going into A. Okay, let's take out the sub. Take a listen. That sounds stupid as hell. After that, just a lot of filtering. But really what makes the sound is just this whole array here. And the voices really make it random, which helps. Because listen to this. With all the voices, post-processing, well, when it sounds like this out of the patch, you're obviously going to want to make it sound a bit more nice, a bit more, you know, enhanced. So OTT, high pass, EQ, distortion, EQ. You record it 3 times. Just line all 3 up in the grid. You gotta actually duplicate it if you want it to go left, right, and center. So one of them has to be, there you go, and duplicate that, and pan. So yeah, that's how you do that. This is kind of like a getter weirdness kind of thing. This is an array of FM again. The sync on the second oscillator just really makes the difference here. The FM does matter. It should be quite high, and very little movement on this one. So once again, a little high pass in there, distortion, reverb filter a little bit, OTT and a bit of reverb. There you go. Okay, so pretty typical stuff here. FM from B, sync, bandpass. This does the equivalent of a peak, just going like whoop. Yeah, the filter really gave it that vowel, that movement, you know. And yeah, a bit OTT. That's pretty much it. This one. That's hilarious. We still have the modern talking. So, you guessed it, some more FM. This time there's FM from sub again, but that's not doing much. What is doing much is the high pass here. Distortion, flang, which is altering the tone a little bit. EQ, OTT. The voices really help with making it stereo because by default the width is up, so that, you know, the voices are as spread as possible, left, right, when this was all working and the session had all the samples and stuff, I had bounced it to audio, which is what saved my ass. And basically I was able to shove it in Ableton and continue working on it as if it was, you know, just in FL and whatever. Oh, the other thing, my computer couldn't run this project anymore, and let me just show you something. i5 4690, 8 gigs of RAM, can't run a freaking FL project. Like, that's the time to bounce stuff down. Okay, here it is. It's pretty organized actually. Pretty big change in terms of mix and stuff like that. I removed all the silence so that it doesn't try to read 400 files at a time basically. But yeah, basically it's in here, it's really all mix, I think, and arrangement. There was some times where I needed to add some more stuff, in which case I would bounce it down to audio because it's all audio in here. So I was able to cut out all the tails, because listen to this. Like that in FL, like that really messes up a lot of mixes, and not even because of the mix itself, but because the timing. So this sound is not what it sounds like. It sounds like it's like one patch. It's two, really. That's it. So that's the first layer. So, and that's what was there originally. So take a listen. That was there originally, and then I was like, okay, yeah, well, I could probably layer this. And there you go. You wouldn't be able to like recreate this in one patch, probably. This thing, I'm proud of that one. Okay, so that's the same sound as what was playing right before. So this, what I did here is warp. I made it twice as long. Might have reversed it, I'm not too sure. And then I did a pitch bend. You know, that kind of thing. Anyways. This is a sample from like a Rasta vocals from Prime Loops, pitched down and warped and stuff. That was a sample itself. Okay. Basically, it had its own pitch. Roughneck Bass. I think it's the same guy. He already had a pitch. So basically what I did is pitched it down another octave. Maybe 2 octaves. And just made some sort of growl layer. Because if you listen without that, it just sounds like it doesn't sound as cool, you know? That's just, you know, you take a sample that says drop the bass, and then you just cut it up and loop it basically. There's another thing below here. So the way you make these kinds of sounds is you take a sample once again, and you use Melodyne to pitch correct to just make it one pitch, the whole sample just one pitch. And then once that's done, you can use frequency shifter to make it sound like wobbly and ring mod or whatever you want. But you can pitch it down an octave as well, just do all sorts of stuff. But Melodyne or anything that you can adjust the pitch and just make it flat, you know, one note. So these kinds of things are interesting, and what you do is, you know, you put it on the chorus here. You can make it 3 semitones so that it actually ends up being major chord. Now you have alternation of a major chord. Right? Or alternatively, you could just do that. And then just, you know, rise the pitch of that as a whole. But then it's not alternating, but then you can make it alternate. Yeah, it's actually a lot of interesting stuff you can do with that. Basically, what makes it sound like a siren is essentially the processing. So there's some of that. If you can make it sound honky sometimes, it makes it sound like a siren. You know, the high end really gives it away that it's saw waves that it does this, so. But it's really, the reverb is what just blends it and makes it sound like a siren, just absolutely so. So, you know, that's the secret right there, the big secret. Turn the highs down a bit. Yeah, so that's how you make those. It's a bit distorted too in that original sound, but yeah. Let me know if you guys would be interested in a sample pack for any of my previous songs, robots, and all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video or song, depends what comes out first. So take care, guys.